Good afternoon and welcome to Monday on Bad Dog Comedy TV, live on YouTube and Ayaka's Kitchen. Now please give it up for your warm-up act, a toast.
Hi everyone! How are you? Okay, here's another joke. Are you ready for a joke? Okay, it goes like this. Knock knock. Who's there? A hungry person born in 2019. A hungry person born in 2019? Who? When I leave this place, I don't say peace out. A hungry person who was born in 2019 does not say peace out when you say bye-bye. Who? What do you say? I say pig out. Pig out. Pig out. Do you get it? No, I don't get it. Pig, peace out, but pig out, because peace out is like bye-bye, but I say pig out. I don't get it. Like pig, like 2019, year of pig, the Chinese zodiac sign pig, the year of pig, so I say pig out. Do you get it? You get it? I don't think it was funny. Hi, everyone. Hi. How are you doing? Was Toast making jokes again? That was not funny? Okay, that's fine. It's all fine. Hi, I'm Ayaka. Oh, man. Those puns and jokes. I'm born in 19, so I got it. Sean got it. It's every 12 years. 12 years, the year of pig. Like 2019 was the year of pig. 1983 it said, and then whatever the 12-year cycle, and then but the joke wasn't funny, so let's move on. Okay, hi. So today I just mentioned about pork and pig and stuff. That's the kind of food we are eating. But before that, let's talk about dog. Dog, the bad dog theater. So bad dog theater is having a bad dog comedy TV, just like what you're watching. And here is the donation link. It's just like watching a show at the theater. You have to pay the ticket, but here's the donation link to watch the video. So bad dog is doing so much for the community and for the whole entire world, doing amazing things, and there's so many shows. So donate money and watch those shows and subscribe this YouTube channel. It's a great place to be. So hi everyone. How's everyone doing? All good. Happy Monday. Happy Family Day in Canada. And Family Day is very important because all my friends who I want to invite to the show, but they have jobs. And they cannot do a 4:30 Monday show. But today it's a family day and it's a holiday for people who work so hard. And now this was a lucky day for me because my really good friend who's actually a lawyer, so he couldn't do the shows before, but today he can, and he's here. So I'm gonna introduce you to my great friend, Desmond.
Hi guys. Hi, Desmond here. Hi, Ayaka. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you, Desmond. How are you?
I'm good. It's a rare day off from work. Rare day off from work. I'm just trying to relax as much as I can because the stuff starts in the morning again.
That's so important. And thank you so much for using your day off to be here in my kitchen. I mean, on the other screen, but in my kitchen.
It's an honor to be in Ayaka's kitchen. It's an absolute honor. So I can't wait. So I'm very excited. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And you are a lawyer, but also you are famous. You have so many followers on Instagram. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I started my Instagram. It's at Travel Comedian, and I started my Instagram in March of 2017. And at the time, I was studying for the bar exam, which I previously failed several times. So I was getting kind of sick of it, and I was getting really stressed out by it. And I thought, why not just have a distraction? Start an Instagram page. and I just started writing stuff on there, and eventually it started catching on a little bit, and I found, I like making fun of certain places because a lot of tourist locations, I wouldn't say they're overrated, but I would just say that it's not as beautiful as it looks. There's a lot of filters that are used online. It's not as beautiful. It's full of people. Everybody's trying to get pictures. So let's talk about the reality of it. So the rest is history, I guess. Yeah.
That's great. We need the reality. We need people like you. So I don't go to Rome thinking of like, okay, this is a beautiful place. And when I'm there, like I hear Japanese everywhere. Everyone's taking pictures. Like, they're all Japanese. Where are Romans?
Right. Yeah. The lineup to the Roman Colosseum is so long. And in the summer, it's so hot. And you just stand there. And then when you get in, you think, oh, cool, I can look at it. There's hundreds of people all over the place. You can barely get a good picture. You know, it's great. I loved it, but it was so many people. It's crazy. All these tourist locations, too many tourists, you know?
Yeah, that explains my Roman holiday. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you for doing that, being real and doing things that we need in your like hobby world, in the work world. Like you are amazing. So I'm so looking forward to hearing all your stories today. So
I got lots of them.
Yeah, I know you do. So let's get into it. And I ask this question to every guest come here. So what is your background?
My background is Chinese. So both of my parents are from China. My mom was born in Macau, and my dad was born in Guangzhou, which is in southeastern China. And my mom's family's from the same area too. So it's about maybe an hour and a half by car from Hong Kong. So it's right at the southeastern tip.
Yeah, so I've only met like few people from Macau. What I know about Macau is like there's casinos everywhere, and
there are casinos everywhere. Yep.
And it's such a tropical place. Is that right?
Yes, it is, and it's got a Portuguese influence because it was a Portuguese colony for almost 100 years. So, and apparently the gambling is crazier there than Las Vegas. It makes Vegas look like there are some really rich young Chinese people that gamble out there. So it's you hear of these stories of American poker players moving to Macau just so they can gamble with the Chinese billionaires.
Wow.
On a daily basis, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I just picture it like, I just picture it like so loud and like bright and like party kind of place. I feel, and then China, like the main like land China where your father's from is Cantonese area.
Yes, Cantonese. That's right. Yeah.
Is that how I say it? Cantonese area?
You got it. Yep. So Mandarin is the main language that's spoken in China, and there's several dialects, but I'd say Cantonese is like the #2 language in China. So predominantly it was the Chinese language in Canada up until maybe 15 or 20 years ago, when more mainland Chinese people started moving to Canada and to Toronto. So you would rarely hear Mandarin. Like when I was in school, I would never hear. All we heard was Cantonese. Now Cantonese is becoming more and more rare, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Cantonese has like 7 different tones, while like Mandarin has 4, ma, and Cantonese has 7. So like Cantonese is harder to recognize, like to speak or something like that. That's what I heard.
It is. It's interesting. I'm learning Mandarin right now, actually, and Mandarin seems like a simpler language. I would say that it's a better language to learn rather than Cantonese, which is much more complicated. But what do I know? I grew up with Cantonese, so I just speak it naturally. It's what I speak at home. So to me, it seems okay.
Wow. You just simply like casually said like, Cantonese is simpler language. And I gave up, sorry, Mandarin is like simple language. And I'm like, I gave up learning Mandarin because like it was so difficult. I was in Taiwan for a while, and then like I was trying to learn like Mandarin. I just couldn't. It was so difficult. So like for you to like know Cantonese already and then like study Mandarin, like coming from here to like learning something easier. That's such an interesting concept.
They're very related to each other. Mandarin and Cantonese are very related. There's an old trick that some Cantonese people do. They try to slur their language a little bit to make it sound more Mandarin, but it's not exactly the correct way of speaking Mandarin. So in some of my lessons that I take online for my online Mandarin lessons, I try that, but it usually doesn't work. But I just try slurring my words a little bit. It's me misunderstanding the language.
Wow, so interesting. So interesting. So the food that you're going to introduce is also like Cantonese influenced food. So let's talk about the food.
Sure. Got it right here. It's barbecue pork fried rice. Oh, you're making me hungry looking at it. In Cantonese, it's pronounced ta siu cao fan. So ta siu is the barbecue pork, and cao fan is the fried rice, and it's really, really nice. I grew up eating lots of this, especially the barbecue pork. I absolutely adore barbecue pork. So that's one of my favorite dishes. Lots of childhood memories with it.
I just had like a minor epiphany moment. I just realized in Japan we eat chahan, which is fried rice. That must be like Cantonese word, chahan. Yeah. And then we also eat char siu, which is the pork slices. That's when you go to ramen restaurant, like you have ramen and then like pork slices. That we call it char siu. So it must be like Cantonese language. Now that I heard it from you, I'm like, oh my god, that I knew those words all my life as like some kind of like a Chinese language, but use it like it's so how do you say, common to use it in Japanese language. So we have our own letters to put, but like it's definitely coming from what you just said. So I just had a moment of like, oh wow.
A lot of the Asian languages are quite similar in certain words, certain ways of counting, and it's just all a big mix of stuff. So That's all I know. I know off the Banai. That's Mandarin. I don't think the Mandarin people will be happy hearing this, but
how do you say that in Cantonese?
Yat yi sam se lok tat bak gao sup. So that was one. Yeah.
It's similar but different enough that like I would be like, so interesting. So interesting.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna start rolling this, and just a warning. I had another episode with rice dish, and it was delicious, but it didn't roll well. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna do my best.
That might happen here as well. But looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, but I also need to talk about it. Why did you pick a rice dish? Why rice?
Because rice is such a staple of Chinese people. I grew up eating rice, and fried rice, I just ate a lot of it. Like every Friday we would go to this special, I don't know if they exist anymore. Of course they do. These food courts where we would just eat and choose the one dish to eat. It would either be chow mein, so fried noodles, or fried rice. And I always enjoyed the fried rice. Yeah. Because I love the chow mein, but the fried rice, there's lots of good memories, and you can always mix it with all kinds of stuff. And rice is just something that goes well with a lot of different food. It's not like something strong like bitter melon or Brussels sprouts. You can't exactly mix Brussels sprouts with all kinds of different food, you know?
Yeah, you know, when I asked you like why did you pick rice, like I knew the answer, but I just needed you to passionately talk about rice because I love hearing that.
I love rice.
It's so funny like how Asian people eat rice all the time, and then it's a funny question that I often get asked from Japanese people, and they say, "What's the main dish in Canada?" And main dish, the meaning of definition of main dish is very different in Japan. Main dish is always the rice. We call that like literally like that's the main dish. It's just a bowl of plain rice. And then we have so many like different food. So very often like Japanese people ask me what's the main dish in Canada, and I'm like, we don't really have one. Like we don't always have bread on the table. We don't always have potato. We don't always have rice. But like in Asian household, it's always like there's rice. And that's The
It's
definition
interesting
of
you mention
main
that.
dish is different.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah, that's true. It's at every meal in the Chinese culture, Japanese culture, Korean culture. It's such a staple. You just grow up eating lots of rice, and I remember as a kid sometimes I would just take rice and put some soy sauce on it and mix it around. Not exactly the healthiest thing, but I thought it tasted. I thought it tasted.
I did that. I
Yeah?
did that a lot too. Soy sauce
Yeah.
and melted butter.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
Yeah. It's just like as a kid, like a snack instead of eating potato chip, just like warm rice with soy sauce and butter. It's like, why not?
That's better than potato chip. That's better.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than have like Doritos or something.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Rice is what's the Filipino people say, no rice, no power. No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I relate to that so much. Like,
true.
yeah, we need rice all the time. It's so funny, and we take it seriously too, right? It's not just like on the side. It's like I pay so much money for rice, not because of the amount, but the quality of it. Like I don't just buy like the cheapest rice.
For sure. If you buy the cheapest rice compared to the best rice, you can totally taste the difference.
Yes.
It feels different. It feels different in your mouth and eating it. And to me, eating food is all about the experience and nice textures, nice crunches, and how it feels. It's not just how it tastes too at the same time. All those things put together. So the way I look at it is rice is like the perfect canvas. And then you just put paint on top of it, different kinds of paint, and it looks good.
Oh, you just came up with this, or like you were...
I just came up with this. I seriously just came up with this.
That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is. That's
it really
exactly
is.
what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Canvas, and then like otherwise, if you don't have a canvas, you cannot create art, even if you have so many paints. Like it's gonna be like, oh, what is it? But you have rice, you can put any color on it, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
And you can put more rice on it. You can make the canvas even bigger, like 3 different canvases put together. If you want more rice.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. What kind of rice do you like?
I like the Japanese sushi rice, and I like basmati rice.
Yeah, basmati rice is good. It's like aromatic.
Yeah, very very aromatic. I cook it with rosemary, some rosemary spice, and a little bit of butter, and it tastes great. But most rice is good. I just love rice. I love carbs.
Yeah.
I love carbs.
Well, you say you love carbs, but you are so good with your diet too. Tell us a little bit about your diet.
Sure. Basically, what
inspiring.
happened was when I was in school, I went to law school in St. Louis, and I used to take my stress out and just eat lots of food, lots and lots of food. And down there, it's very hard to find authentic Chinese food. You find what's called American Chinese food. So it's just deep fried, all kinds of deep fried stuff, orange chicken rice, and all these different types of oily things. So I ate a lot of that, and then I started seeing bad effects on my health. So I started working out in a CrossFit gym. They had me talk to a nutritionist, and I basically had to reduce a lot of the carbs that I was eating too. So as much as I love carbs, I have to be very deliberate as to when I eat the carbs and how much. I weighed my food for about 10 months. I just had to do that. Like I still have sleep apnea. I'm on a cholesterol medication. So I'm not a young kid anymore. I feel young. You feel young.
Yeah, that comes back to like you were saying, like eating is not just the taste but the experience, because you take care of your diet so well that like each meal has more meaning to it, instead of like, oh, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm gonna just eat these noodles. Like you have you have to prepare for it and like be precious about each meal. That I think that's beautiful.
Sure, because you can't eat too much of it. And I also miss the days when I could eat tons, but I wasn't, like you said, appreciating the meals. I would just eat the noodles, eat the rice just so quickly, and not even think about it. And then before I knew it, it was gone, and I was back sad again. So a lot of people use food as a way to cope with stress. It's an excellent way to cope with stress in the short term, not the long term. So my fear was that one day the time would come where my doctor said, yeah, you can be a vegan, but it's not going to help what you've done to your heart. Stuff like that.
I see.
I didn't. there are examples of like famous people who have turned their lives around, but still, for example, suffered heart attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
They've already done enough damage to themselves. There's only so much you can do. So,
Yeah.
and it affected me on my travels too. I was just so tired walking around. I couldn't enjoy too much. Like, well, when I was in Venice, there were so many stairs. I hate the stairs. I hate stairs so much. So
Yeah.
so much walking, and it'd be sunny, and then everybody would be sitting on the benches. There'd be no space for me to sit down on the bench. And something tourists do that I kind of find is a pet peeve, they like to buy lots of souvenirs and then they put it beside them on the bench. Like,
That's
those
so true.
souvenirs are using the bench and taking up the space.
Mhm.
Apparently. Oh, thanks,
Oh.
Lou. How you doing, Lou? Hope all
That's
is well.
nice. That's
Aw.
nice.
Good to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, so it's like, for some reason, the bench feels better to put their souvenirs on than the ground when it's technically the same thing. So
Yeah, is your souvenir more important than my tired body?
exactly. So that's, and for example, like hiking up the mountains, when I've seen mountains and I cannot hike them, but I figure, oh, the view must be so beautiful up there. But I can only see it on YouTube. I can't see it in person. My eyes have never laid eyes on those kinds of views before.
But
So,
now you can, like, maybe like after this,
exactly.
you're so much healthier.
When I got my health back into shape, then COVID happened. So it's like,
Anticipation.
exactly. It's a lot of crazy anticipation for the places that I can go to eventually when it's safe again. But I don't think that we can travel anytime soon for like a year, because even if we get the vaccine, who knows what's going to happen in other countries, right?
Yeah.
And I figure we've been doing well this long in the pandemic. Don't get it now at this point. Don't get COVID at this point. If you were to get COVID, get it earlier. Don't fight it for a whole year and do well and social distancing, and then you take your first trip and boom, you have a positive test result. So I'll be patient. But I definitely am interested to see how I do, like, body-wise when I go out, now that I've lost maybe around 40, 50 pounds. It's
40, 50 pounds.
I remember in Japan I was well over 250, and it was just hot, and it was a tough time because I could not experience much of the nightlife. I spent most of the nightlife sleeping in the hotel. That was my experience. That was my experience. Japan's club scene, I was sleeping the whole time. So I never got to experience all of that stuff.
You missed out. You have to go back there.
Right? Exactly, right? I'd wake up at like 10 a.m. to go somewhere, and the place would be full of tourists already. So I definitely look forward to going out now that I don't have, it's almost like going out with a bunch of books, you know, they just drag you down, and eventually I remember taking pictures of me leaning on stuff. That's what I did a lot of times. I would just lean on trees. I'd be in the temple and I'd lean on stuff that I shouldn't have leaned on.
Oh no.
You know, that famous, there's a few famous temples, and I would just lean up against stuff, and I'd get looks from certain people, and oops is right. That can speak volumes, you know. I don't need to understand Japanese in order to understand you're doing something wrong. You're doing something not cool.
But the Japanese people are so polite and passive aggressive that they don't tell you right in the face.
No, they don't. But their face says everything. The expression on their face, the look of shock, the look of, oh, what's this person doing?
Yeah.
That's enough.
I learned something the other day. Asian people speak with eyes, and Western culture speak with mouth. That's why Asian people wearing sunglasses, like, we just feel like, oh, is that like a dangerous people around, like wearing sunglasses? And Western culture wearing mask is such a like uncomfortable thing because you cannot read other people's mind, read other people's feelings.
That's so true.
Yeah, eyes.
Yeah, but it's all in the eyes for us Asians. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny that came back to it today. Yeah. This is what I've been doing so far, and you know, rice on rice. So I'm gonna try to roll it. But I picked a bunch of those like pork and green peas and green onion pieces, and I thought the rice is so brown. Maybe soy sauce because it's soy sauce. But I noticed like the pork has like its own color. Pork is like red.
Yes, it's got its own red color. So it's got a lot of hoisin sauce and some vinegar, and it's been put into salt water, or I think salt water, for a little bit of time, maybe overnight and stuff. It's not an instant process of taking pork shoulder and turning it into barbecue pork. It's a longer process. So that's why it's got that distinctive bright red color, or a little bit of a blackish color sometimes too.
Yeah, I picked up like a bunch of pork, and like I thought it was like carrots first because it was like that bright red and orange, red, brown.
Sure. If you walk by the Chinese restaurants in downtown Toronto, you'll see them hung up there. And if you don't, it doesn't look like pork. It's not pink. It's not brown or anything. It's just like bright red, basically.
Yes, I've seen that. What makes it red? Hoisin sauce makes
the
it red?
hoisin sauce. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
The hoisin sauce. And then when you put that sauce in, and then I think you either bake it or you put it onto the grill type of thing, that's when it turns red. So I just love
you take barbecue seriously.
Yes, exactly.
The process starts like a day before.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't have too much of it now, but when I was in school in St. Louis, there was a place that they're famous for barbecue. So I had some barbecue ribs down there every now and then, and they'd cook it overnight with wood and apple, and it was incredible. And then when they had the Rib Fest in St. Louis, and then they brought up ribs from Atlanta and Texas, and oh my gosh, my body was complaining about it the next day, but it didn't like the fact that I was putting so much of it in, but good times, you know?
Yeah, the experience that you're talking about.
Exactly, that's right.
Great.
You should try anything. You should try anything. I don't like diets where they say only eat food that is on this list. You can have almost anything. But,
okay, I have a question then. Because you're so well traveled and you love food, what's the most like uncommon thing in like Western culture that you have had while traveling?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I've played it safe most of the time. I've played it safe most of the time. I haven't eaten anything too crazy, but I did.
Get sick.
Well, I did get sick in China. I got food poisoning in China. I had raw salmon sashimi in China.
That's it. And we have that here.
We have that exactly. But the difference is here it's healthy. Over there, you have no guarantee of whether it's healthy or not. And I ate it, and then I got food poisoning, and I was in the hospital for 3 days.
Wow, that bad. Ooh.
Yeah. There's this moment where Homer Simpson's dad says that he feels like his skeleton is about to jump out of his body. That's literally how food poisoning felt. It was like the weirdest feeling in the world. So, but I haven't eaten anything crazy. Like I know in Beijing they have scorpions that you can eat and stuff on the skewers. I got near it. I didn't eat them, or bugs, or in Japan the poisonous puffer fish. I'm not that daring yet. We'll see.
Is scorpion poisonous to eat?
I think their version of the scorpion is not poisonous. No.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So funny.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. And then as you're growing up, like your childhood, did you eat like Chinese food, mainly Chinese food, or different kind of food?
It was mainly Chinese food. It was at home. It was a mix of either Chinese food or just Canadian food. We didn't eat too much things like pizza, but it would be like that setting. You'd have your bowl of rice, and then you'd have other little sides that you'd put into the rice, and then we would go out to Chinese restaurants. I don't remember eating sushi until I was in my late teens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how was your experience?
I loved
First
it.
time.
I absolutely loved it. The very first time I had sushi was on Yonge and Wellesley. Very first time I had it. Yeah, I had it in university. I love the taste. I have loved the taste of it ever since. So it was pretty sheltered. I didn't eat too much stuff. Like I ate a lot of processed food as a kid too. So a lot of those box meals that you see in the grocery store, you just open up the box and then you stick it into the microwave for 3 or 4 minutes. I had a lot of those too. Like, have you heard of Hungry Man?
No.
Yeah, if you go to like Loblaws or something, you'll see these meals that are called like Hungry Man. They got mashed potatoes, a piece of steak in there, a peach cobbler, a little bit of pie in there. So I used to eat that stuff. Not exactly the healthiest.
Not so much, and not much of a experience either. It's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
not too
because
much.
I'm hungry, I just need to put some things in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where it's back then it was just you're just eating to feel so you don't feel hungry. Whereas now you're eating for the experience. You're trying to enjoy it. There's this new movement about mindful eating, taking your time. But also because the brain takes a while to tell you that they're full. If you just eat something really, really quickly and you devour it, you still think you're hungry.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem. I feel like, oh yeah, I'm not like full enough. I should eat more. But really, truly, I am, and my brain's catching up. That's my problem.
That's the thing with fast food is because when you eat like fast food, it just makes you want more. Because
all the time.
You can eat the fast food so fast. So
they're smart, aren't they? They're smart.
Yeah.
They know how the human body works, and they can make
They're experts at it. They're experts at making money. So, but mindful eating is better too.
I like that. Mindful anything is good. Just be conscious of like anything, like your behavior and like diet, like food definitely shapes who you are. And mindful eating.
It allows you to live in the moment more. It allows you to look at the food and think about what you're putting into your body and enjoying the taste of it, enjoying how it makes you feel. And
that's nice.
Yeah, so basically you can eat almost anything as long as you understand the nutrition behind it. You can eat almost anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then make sure you weigh everything so you know the calories. I guess that's the important part.
Or in general how many calories something will have, and then you can plan your day around that, and you can go up and down. It's not like we're not professional athletes here, so we don't need to weigh. We don't need to weigh everything, but it's always better just to know, so that when the time comes and you want to eat some food that's not as good, you can actually enjoy it. And then you can tell yourself later in the day not to eat certain stuff afterwards because you had this awesome cake. You had a bunch of cake to eat in the morning or something. You can still have that. Enjoy life, We're not just on a chicken and broccoli diet. That's not life. Your body will look very good. Yeah.
That's very good. Like every time I associate like losing weight or like healthy diet has like restrictions and like, okay, no, I'm not supposed to eat certain things, but like how you do it is like opposite of that. It's like restricted in that way of like you don't eat too much, but that's a good thing anyway.
Exactly, for sure. And knowing the values of everything, like that's how some people that are not as nice in this business, they try to make money off of people by giving them certain lists, certain really complicated recipes to do. When I'm not a nutritionist, but certain little changes you can make would be huge. Like for example, if you eat a lot of processed food, going from processed food to whole food, it'll change everything around. Even if you're still overeating, even if you're still eating too much meat or you're eating too much rice, well, you're not eating processed food. That's a huge step in the right direction. Or if you drink more water, that's a huge step in the right direction. So with these small steps, it's nothing crazy like get the perfect body in 30 days type of thing. I don't like that stuff.
But it's inspiring. It's inspiring. It's funny like that this all coming from you because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like I associate with that with like low farm lawyer kind of thing as well, because like I don't know many rules in this world that maybe I'm missing out on something, or maybe like I'm losing something, missing on opportunities. Like same thing, like lawyers know so much more about like how this works. So like you can get the best part of it. And then like food is the same thing. If this you know the system really well, then maybe like you can have better diet without missing out.
You want to understand as much as possible in your own little way, because you can't lose the weight based on somebody else's experience. Maybe you like a certain kind of sauce. Maybe you like a certain type of meat. Maybe you love lamb. Lamb has a lot of fat in it. But if you love lamb so much, taking that out of your diet would be worse than keeping it in, because then you'll get maybe depressed, you'll get sad, anxious, you'll go eat other stuff. You'll start eating chocolate, you'll start eating chips, you'll start eating fried chicken, for example, and stuff like that, when you could have just kept lamb in your diet. So, but, people got to make money, so they got to recommend all these different programs and all these different 30-day things and get ripped. I believed in that. I used to believe in that, but then I put all the weight back on afterwards. So it's like all that effort was wasted. Yeah, because you're starving the body. So the minute you start putting other stuff in the body, it's just going to absorb everything.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm learning a lot about how to be healthy today, and as we are talking, I made this roll. So
great.
Let's talk about the roll.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So this is, I think I did okay. It's still keeping the shape.
Yes, that looks awesome.
Yeah. So this one, I would call it barbecue pork fried rice roll. Would you approve?
I would definitely approve. You're making me hungry. I really want to try it. Bobby, that's right. Barbecue pork fried rice roll. That's awesome. I wonder how that would taste too. That would be fantastic.
Yes, I'll try it and I'll tell you how it tastes like. So I'm gonna put soy sauce with it because it's still some kind of sushi. So
yes, of course.
Oh wait, my soy sauce is empty.
Oh no.
Oh, so no soy sauce. Yes, there's some.
There we go.
Okay. So I'm gonna eat it, and as I eat it, I don't want people to hear me chew. So, Sean, could you put some drum roll, please? And then as we do that, Desmond, you can count 1 to 10 in Mandarin and Cantonese. How's that?
All right, let's give it a shot. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu. Ya, i, sam, se, do, sat, pa, gao, sat. That's Cantonese. I, san, du, wu, liu, qi, fan. That's Mandarin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And this is 10 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, I want to try it sometime. I might actually give it a shot. Rolling it.
Barbecue eagle. Yeah, of course. Like rice goes well with rice. Soy sauce goes well with Chinese food. Yeah, it's good. I have to try the barbecue pork itself by itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, give it a try. Tell me what you think.
Today was this realization. Chashu, Chinese chashu, is coming from this barbecue pork, Chinese barbecue pork.
Right.
It was I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Chashu, how do you say that?
Chashu. Yeah, chashu. Yeah. So if you like it, you can just go to the Chinese restaurant and you can just ask for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good too.
Ask for the whole thing. Ask for they should have some of them hanging in the window, and just ask for the whole thing and just eat it. It's pure protein. It's pork.
Today we tried suato on spadina. This is funny because this is one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in Toronto, and then you picked it without knowing that. And then another funny thing is I love shrimp fried rice, and every time I order fried rice, it's that one. But there's always a thing. My husband is like, no, I want barbecue pork fried rice, but I always win, and I always order shrimp fried rice. So today he was so happy that he gets to try.
Him and I are communicating telepathically.
You knew each other. That's why.
Somehow.
Yeah, but he told me to personally thank you for choosing this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Barbecue pork is awesome. It's just so good, and pork in general is healthy. Pork in general.
Oh, really?
Is healthy. Yeah, it's pretty healthy. Certain like pork shoulder, it's pretty healthy compared to other meats. It's pretty good. Yeah. So you
Interesting.
can eat quite a bit of it. You don't have to. It's not like other foods that have tons of like pulled beef and other stuff like that, or the ground beef. Not the lean kind, of course, but ground beef. They've got a lot more fat and stuff in there. So pork is pretty good.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I learned a lot about diet.
Yeah.
I learned some things about Cantonese
It's just a little
culture.
step. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's so fascinating. Thank you so much for all those like knowledge. Like you are so good at explaining things. Like I think your hobby, job, everything, your life all together, you're such an interesting person. So thank you for coming to my kitchen.
Well, thank you for having me in your kitchen. It's quite an honor. Very exciting. This is definitely a big highlight for me. I'm really happy you brought me on, Ayaka.
Oh, thank you, Desmond. Thank you. And you're such a nice person in general. So
you are nicer. You're nicer.
You're nicer.
Okay, I'm not going to start this fight. I'm not.
Okay, no.
We're both nice.
Okay, we're both nice. Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone as well. Thank you everyone for watching today's episode. And here's the Bad Dog Comedy TV. Here's the donation link. Yeah, this is the donation link. And Bad Dog is a great place. So donate here and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And Seann, thank you, Seann.
Thank you,
Seann's
Seann.
the technician. Seann's keeping everything tight for me. He's a great technician. Yeah, he's a hero. So thank you, Seann. And that's what. Thank you so much again. And I'm gonna just keep eating this and then finish all the rice. And I didn't tell you this, but I ordered a few extra dishes because I love swato so much. So goodbye.
Nice. That's awesome. Enjoy it. Itadakimasu.
I will. Thank you.